Ever imagined your favorite musician, like, totally switching gears? Creatively, I mean. Well, that's what we're diving into today. All thanks to, you guessed it, AI.
AI, huh? What's the deal this time?
So there's this fictional album, right? How Soon Is Never. Catchy title.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And it's supposed to be like an AI channeling this, quote, charming British musician. Get where I'm going with this?
Oh, I think I might. But what really gets me is this AI isn't just making music, it's built a whole story around it. Like, this artist goes solo, but with a totally different sound. More pop, Pretty wild.
Right. Like imagine, I don't know, Leonard Cohen dropping a techno album. Would that be like selling out or brilliant?
The age-old question. But yeah, and the article doesn't come right out and say who this musician is.
But come on, 𝗧𝗧𗪋𝗧 lyrics about feeling lost and alone. It's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's screaming a certain Smiths frontman, right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so interesting. Can an AI really capture that, or is this just a fancy karaoke machine?
Right. Like we've taught computers to play chess, but can they write a song that makes you feel something, The heartache, the wit, all that stuff.
Exactly. So to figure that out, we got to look at the themes, right? We're talking loneliness, social commentary, heartbreak, even some dark humor about,
The big stuff, not exactly lighthearted pop music material. So can an AI handle that kind of depth?
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting. This article isn't just some track list. It's like a whole story called How Soon Is Never, Thorns in the Side.
Yeah.
Each chapter is like a song, pulling you deeper into this alternate reality.
An alternate timeline, huh? This artist on their own, but with this new sound. I like it.
And we can't just be like, oh, this chapter is about love. We got to ask, does it feel real? Does it sound like something this artist would actually write? Does it have that emotional punch?
Time to put this AI to the test then, right? So let's jump into Thorns in the Side, starting with chapter 1, Ghost Among the Living. Just the title screams Morrissey, am I right?
Oh, totally. It's like that feeling of being lost in a crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the AI really goes for it. Like the main character's on this like city of shadows, a stranger in a familiar land. It's almost too perfect.
So is it clever or just lazy? Like
Right.
chapter 2, In Silence I Adore.
Yeah.
Classic unrequited love, right? But it does have that Morrissey twist.
Well, let's see. The AI calls it a symphony playing only in my head, unheard and unheeded. A little dramatic, maybe.
Maybe. But it does get at that feeling, right? Like your emotions are so huge to you, but totally invisible to the other person.
True, true. And it's never just simple sadness with Morrissey, is it? There's always that layer of irony, like he's in on the joke, even if it's breaking his heart.
Exactly. So does this AI chapter feel like a cheap copy? Or does it have that self-awareness? Well, not sure.
Okay, moving on, chapter 3, The Hours We Waste. Now, this one feels different. Less about romance, more about that existential dread that just seeps into everything he does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like he can take a Tuesday afternoon and make it feel heavy.
Yeah.
Like that song. Was it The Importance of Being Morrissey? Brilliant, but kind of terrifying.
Yeah, good luck topping that, AI.
Yeah.
Anyway, chapter 4, The Factory Bell, feels a bit more grounded, right? Like social commentary, something Morrissey's always done.
Definitely. And this is important. It's not just about sounding like him. It's about the ideas, the politics behind it all. So does the AI add anything new? Or is it just parroting?
Good question. So while our guy in the story is stuck with that factory bell, we're stuck wondering if the AI can break free from its programming. But then, chapter 5, Better Off With Him, now things get juicy.
Right. Total curveball. It's like, what if Morrissey is the one being dumped? Like the tables are turned.
Meta, right. The AI is analyzing his whole thing, but does it work? Or is it a disaster? So the AI is really shaking things up, huh? Our main man, the one usually nursing a broken heart, he's on the other side of it now. But does it work?
That's the thing, right? And what gets me is the AI it doesn't sugarcoat it. There's bitterness there, even as he's trying to convince himself, good riddance.
Trying to save face a little bit.
Exactly. It's that self-awareness we were talking about. Finding humor in the pain. Very Morrissey.
So even when it's new territory, those core emotions, they still shine through. But then chapter 6, Trapped in the Routine, it feels like familiar ground again, Melancholy, boredom.
Oh, absolutely. Like every day is like Sunday, or heaven knows I'm miserable now. It's like he turns the ordinary into something existential. And the AI kind of nails it in this chapter. There's this one line, the clock ticks, the kettle whistles, and I wonder, is this all there is? Bleak, sure, but it's got that poetic feel.
It's that thing he does, makes the everyday feel profound, just boom with the lyrics. But then, chapter 7, The King of Misfits, injects a little humor, right?
Oh, thank goodness. That dry wit,
Yeah.
it makes you connect with him even when he's being gloomy. And I think the AI gets that sometimes humor is a way of dealing with it all.
It's like that line he had, I'm so miserable I could cry, but I don't have the energy. That's this whole chapter right there.
Totally. But then, whoa, chapter 8, Dancing with the Grim. Things get heavy.
This is where it gets really interesting. Like, this is a theme that pops up in his work, but it's never this direct.
Right, mortality. The AI, it frames it as a dance, macabre, but kind of beautiful. Like, it's like accepting the inevitable. Very much in line with his whole outlook on life, I think.
Staring into the void and doing a little waltz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our guy. But before we get too deep into that, what about Chapter 9, Voices of the Voiceless? Suddenly we're talking about animal rights. Big passion for the real Morrissey, of course.
And this is important. The AI isn't just making stuff up. It's connecting the dots, using his real-life passions to build this narrative.
The AI did its homework, which honestly makes it even weirder. But then, Chapter 10, Echoes of Yesterday. Right back into the feels we go. Nostalgia, regret.
The heart of so much of his music, right?
Yeah.
That longing for love, for simpler times. The AI gets that. Ghosts of conversations whisper in the wind, reminding me of all the words we left unsaid. Gets you right in the chest.
Total. There's a light that never goes out vibes. But then, buckle up, Chapter 11, The Puppeteer's Dance. Cynicism's back on the menu.
Right time. It's like he's wrestling with authority, with control, very reminiscent of his critiques of the media, the government, you name it.
Classic us versus them. And then, Chapter 12, In the Shadow of Desire. Back to relationships, but with a twist.
Yeah, this one's different. We're talking sexuality, societal expectations, things he's hinted at before. But the AI really goes there. It's almost like it took his quietest moments and turned up the volume. Uncomfortable, but really fascinating.
A whole new layer. And then this is it, right? The final chapter. Chapter 13, How Soon is Never.
Even the title, right? It's loaded. That yearning, the search for something more. It's the question that hangs over the whole story.
That feeling of wanting something you can't have, we've all been there.
And that's what makes this so thought-provoking. It's not just about copying music. It's about capturing what makes us human, what makes art hit us so hard, even when it's coming from a machine.
So we might never know if the AI really got inside Morrissey's head. But it's got us a lot to chew on. Where does imitation end and creativity begin? And can a computer really understand the messiness of being human?
It's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought a good deep dive does, right? Leaves you with more questions than answers.
And on that note, dear listeners, we'll leave you with that. The mysteries of AI, art, and all the feelings in between. Until next time.